have a Japanese sharpening stone. These have to be soaked before you can use them. And this one's dual-sided here. It's got a more coarse side, which isn't extremely coarse. I want to say 600 grit, but don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I bought this. And then like 1,000 grit on the other side. And with this one, you're in control of the angle. So, I mean, again, this is going to take some more skills, and it takes a little more practice to do this. This isn't how I normally hold this. You know what? Let's move the camera and get a better. See if that looks a little bit better. So you hold the knife at the angle that you want to sharpen it to, and draw it across the stone. And normally I'd do more of a, well, how would I normally do it? No, just a one-handed. And it's all about consistency of that angle. And I'm flipping it each time. And you can, instead of flipping it each time, you can just count and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flip, and flip again, and just keep going. Like anytime you're sharpening knives, wipe that off. Look at the edge. You'll be able to see where you're sharpening on that edge and what you've accomplished so far, and if your angle is what it needs to be. And as you progress, you can see how sharp. Now, this particular way of sharpening knives, you can end up with some really sharp knives. Once you really get something really polished up on that 1,000 grit side, and you know, I've seen online where people will then take like a piece of damp newspaper and lay it over that and continue to sharpen it. If you're interested in sharpening with a Japanese stone, well, first go online, figure out if that's what you want, get one, and there's great resources out there. That wet newspaper trick, I believe that was Murray Carter who I saw doing that on YouTube. And if you're really into a Japanese sharpening, like a Japanese sharpening stone, it might even pay to get his DVD. It's $25 last I checked. I never purchased it because I kind of moved on from the Japanese sharpening stone. It's a more time-consuming method of sharpening a knife. Can be kind of relaxing and therapeutic though. But I mean, if you've got a stack of knives to sharpen, this is a time-consuming process. And as you get to where you want to be, and if it's the first time, again, if this is the first time you've sharpened on this, and if you've got a particular angle you want, you can always look at the knife and try to match that angle and do it compared to the angle that's already on there. But if you have an angle in mind that you want, it's going to be a lot of work to get it down there with this. And when you do, though, you're wearing away these stones as you use them, well, like with any sharpening stone. But with these, you also kind of concave it, because you're not getting a nice even from the very top to the very bottom on each stroke. So there is maintenance to do on these stones too over time as you use them. You've got to flatten them back out, true them out. And again, you got to keep them wet too. So after you get, this side just definitely feels much harder. And if you're not to the point in your sharpening where you're ready for this side, you'll feel it in the blade. You'll feel that edge not be really mating with this stone perfectly. And that's Japanese sharpening stones. When I used to do this, I had a pocket knife that I got to just an absolute mere finish on the blade, and it was razor sharp, and it held its edge for a long time. A well-sharpened knife will hold its edge longer than a poorly sharpened knife. So this is a really good way to sharpen, and you can get more grains, grits of these stones than just this one if you got into it. But again, this is time consuming. I mean, even just, you know, you soak it for a half hour before you even start, you know, so there's prep. You know, it's not just, oh, grab this and let me touch up my knife real quick. This is something that you're going to sit down with your sharpening stone and use this, and it's time consuming to do. It's time consuming in the preparation time, and that's pretty much why I moved on from this method of knife sharpening. So now we're going to move on to today's